Welcome back to the channel, amazing collectors and passionate coin enthusiasts. Today, we are stepping into the rich history of the Library of the United States of America and exploring some of the most iconic and collectible coins ever minted. If you love rare coins, hidden treasures, and valuable pennies that could change your collection forever, you are in the right place. In this video, we're diving into the legendary Lincoln Wheat Penny, the classic copper 1-cent coin that collectors around the world search for every single day. With the powerful words "In God We Trust" and "E Pluribus Unum," this historic American penny represents freedom, unity, and timeless value. Some rare wheat pennies have sold for incredible prices, making them one of the most searched coins in the United States coin market. We'll also take a quick look at the beloved Canadian penny, often called the baby copper penny by collectors. Though small in size, this coin carries big historical importance and unique mint variations that make certain years highly collectible. From copper 1-cent treasures to Liberty-themed classics, this episode is packed with coin facts, mint-marked secrets, valuable era varieties, and collector tips you don't want to miss. Whether you're searching through pocket change or building a serious collection, these coins could be hiding surprising value. So stay tuned, because for the next minute we're uncovering rare coin history, collector insights, and valuable pennies that every coin enthusiast should know about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. In God We Trust, E Pluribus Unum, the 1997 Canadian 1-cent coin. At first glance, this may look like an ordinary copper penny, but behind its simple appearance lies a fascinating story of tradition, royalty, design, and collectible value. This coin was issued in 1997 by the Royal Canadian Mint. By this time, the Canadian penny had already been circulating for more than a century, first introduced in 1858. The 1997 edition represents one of the final decades before Canada officially discontinued the penny in 2012. That alone gives this coin historical importance. It belongs to the final generation of Canadian 1-cent pieces. Let's begin with the reverse side. The back of the coin features the iconic maple leaf design, 2 maple leaves attached to a single stem. This beautiful design was created by Canadian artist G. Kruger Gray in 1937 and remained on the penny for decades. The maple leaf is not just decoration. It is a powerful national symbol of Canada, representing unity, nature, and national pride. Above the leaves, you will see the words 1 cent, and below them, the date 1997. Near the lower right of the leaves, you may also notice the small initials KG, honoring the designer. Now turn the coin to the obverse side. Here we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This particular effigy was designed by Canadian artist Dora de Pettery-Hunt and was introduced in 1990. It shows a mature portrait of the Queen wearing a royal diadem crown. Around the portrait, the inscription reads Elizabeth II Digi Regina. DG stands for De Gratia, meaning by the grace of God, and Regina means queen in Latin. This connects the coin not only to Canada, but to the broader history of the British Commonwealth. In terms of composition, the 1997 Canadian penny was made primarily of copper-plated zinc. Earlier pennies were solid bronze, but by the late 20th century, changes were made to reduce production costs. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters with a smooth edge. Its familiar reddish-brown color comes from the copper plating. Now let's talk about mintage and value. In 1997, hundreds of millions of these pennies were produced, meaning it is not considered rare in circulated condition. Most examples found in pocket change are worth only face value or slightly more, typically a few cents to collectors. However, condition is everything in coin collecting. If you have a 1997 penny in brilliant, uncirculated condition, especially with strong red luster, it could be worth a few dollars. Certified high-grade examples graded MS 66 or higher can command even stronger premiums in the collector market. There are also error varieties to look for. Some collectors search for off-center strikes, die cracks, double strikes, or plating errors. While these errors are uncommon, they can significantly increase the coin's value. Always examine your coin carefully under good lighting. Small details can make a big difference. Although the 1997 Canadian penny may not make you rich overnight, its real value lies in history and nostalgia. This coin circulated during a time before digital payments dominated everyday life. It passed through countless hands, told countless stories, and represented everyday commerce in Canada for years. Today, since the penny has been withdrawn from circulation, coins like this serve as small time capsules from a not-so-distant past. For collectors, the 1997 Canadian cent is an essential part completing a modern Canadian penny set. It represents the late copper-plated era, before the denomination was retired. Holding this coin connects you to Canada's heritage, the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and a denomination that once played a vital role in daily transactions. So if you have a 1997 Canadian penny, keep it safe, store it properly in a coin holder, avoid cleaning it, and preserve its natural surface. Even common coins can become more desirable over time, especially as fewer remain in high-grade condition. In the world of coin collecting, value is not always about millions. Sometimes it is about history, design, national pride, and the thrill of discovery. And the 1997 Canadian 1 cent coin is a perfect example. The 1998 Canadian 1 cent penny, written with strong storytelling flow for your video. Today we are diving into another fascinating chapter of Canadian coin history, the 1998 Canadian 1 cent coin. At first glance, it may seem like just another small copper coin, but this penny represents the closing years of a denomination that once played an important role in everyday life across Canada. The 1998 penny was produced by the Royal Canadian Mint, an institution respected worldwide for precision and craftsmanship. By 1998, the Canadian penny had already been in circulation for 140 years. This coin belongs to the modern era of Canadian cents. The period just before the denomination was eventually discontinued in 2012. Let's begin with the reverse design. The back of the 1998 penny features the iconic maple leaves. Two beautifully detailed maple leaves attached to a single stem. This timeless design was created by G. Kruger Gray and has become one of the most recognized images in Canadian numismatics. Above the leaves, you'll see the denomination 1 cent, and below, the country name Canada, along with the date 1998. The maple leaf is more than decoration. It is a powerful national symbol representing unity, strength, and the natural beauty of Canada. Now let's turn to the obverse side. On the front of the coin appears a portrait of Elizabeth II. The inscription reads Elizabeth II DG Regina. The Latin phrase means Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The portrait used during this period was designed by Dora de Pettery-Hunt and shows a mature and dignified image of the Queen wearing a royal diadem crown. This effigy reflects Canada's status as a constitutional monarchy and a member of the Commonwealth. In terms of metal composition, the 1998 Canadian penny was made of copper-plated zinc. Earlier pennies were primarily bronze, but by the mid-1990s, production costs led to a transition toward plated steel and zinc cores. The 1998 cent weighs approximately 2.25 to 2.5 grams, depending on the exact composition variety, and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. Its smooth edge and reddish tone give it the classic look collectors associate with traditional pennies. Now let's talk about mintage and availability. In 1998, hundreds of millions of these coins were struck, meaning they are common in circulated condition. Most examples found in pocket change are worth only face value. However, condition makes all the difference. Coins that remain in brilliant, uncirculated condition, especially those with full original red luster, can be worth several dollars to collectors. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services may command even stronger premiums. Collectors also search carefully for mint errors on 1998 pennies. Possible varieties include off-center strikes, die cracks, double impressions, and plating issues. Because the coin was copper-plated, some pieces show bubbling or peeling of the copper layer. While minor plating flaws are common and not always valuable, dramatic or unusual mint errors can significantly increase a coin's collectible appeal. Beyond market value, the 1998 penny holds emotional and historical importance. It circulated during a time when cash transactions were still dominant and digital payments had not yet taken over daily life. This coin may have passed through thousands of hands, used in grocery stores, vending machines, and savings jars. Today, With the penny officially withdrawn from circulation in Canada, coins like the 1998 issue serve as reminders of a simpler era. For collectors building a complete modern Canadian penny set, the 1998 date is an essential piece. While it is not rare, finding a high-quality example without scratches, discoloration, or where it can be more challenging than expected. Proper storage in coin holders or protective flips helps preserve its condition and long-term value. In conclusion, the 1998 Canadian 1-cent coin may not be a million-dollar rarity, but it represents tradition, craftsmanship, and national identity. It connects collectors to Canada's heritage, the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and the final decades of a denomination that once symbolized everyday commerce. Sometimes, the true value of a coin is not measured only in money, but in history and legacy. If you would like, I can now prepare a dramatic, rare value style version, SEO optimized YouTube title and description, or the next coin script for 1999. Just tell me what you need next. The 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, written in a natural, powerful storytelling style. Today we are going to explore a true classic of American coinage, the 1973 D. Lincoln 1-cent. At first glance, it may look like a simple brown penny, but this small coin carries deep history, patriotic symbolism, and collector interest that makes it far more important than its 1-cent face value. Let's begin with the obverse side. On the front of this coin, you see the portrait of one of the most respected presidents in American history, Abraham Lincoln. His profile faces right, and above his head you will see the famous national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left appears the word liberty, and on the right side, you will see the date 1973, along with a small D mint mark just below the year. That D mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the decades, and in 1973 alone, it struck a massive number of Lincoln cents. Because of this high production, the 1973 D penny is considered common in circulated condition, but that does not mean it is unimportant. Now let's turn the coin over to the reverse side. Here you see the iconic Lincoln Memorial design. At the top, it reads United States of America, and just below that, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. In the center stands the Lincoln Memorial, located in Washington, D.C. If you look closely at well-preserved examples, you can even see a tiny figure Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. The Lincoln Memorial reverse design was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It remained in use until 2008, making it one of the longest-running reverse designs in U.S. coin history. Now, let's talk about composition. The 1973 D. Lincoln cent was made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was before the major composition change in 1982, when pennies switched mostly to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper prices. Because the 1973 D penny contains a high copper content, it weighs about 3.11 grams, heavier than modern pennies. In terms of value, most 1973 D pennies found in circulation today are worth only a few cents above face value. However, condition makes a huge difference. Coins that still have bright red original luster, known as red condition by collectors, can be worth significantly more. High-grade examples graded MS 65 or higher can bring strong premiums in the collector market. Collectors also search for mint errors. Some 1973 D pennies show interesting varieties, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling. While major error coins are rare, if you ever find one, its value could increase dramatically. Always examine the date, mint mark, and lettering carefully under good lighting. The year 1973 itself was an interesting time in American history. The country was experiencing economic challenges, inflation, and social change. Yet through it all, the Lincoln cent remained a steady symbol of everyday commerce. This small coin may have passed through grocery stores, gas stations, and vending machines across America. It represents daily life during the early 1970s. Even though billions were minted, finding a high-quality example today without scratches, discoloration, or heavy work can be more difficult than expected. Many coins from that era show signs of circulation because they were heavily used. That is why uncirculated rolls or preserved pieces are more desirable to collectors. If you own a 1973 D. Lincoln cent, the best thing you can do is avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can damage the natural surface and reduce its value. Store in a proper coin holder or flip to preserve its condition. Remember, original surfaces are always preferred by serious collectors. In conclusion, the 1973 D. Lincoln 1 cent may not be a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars, but is a powerful piece of American history. It honors Abraham Lincoln, carries national mottos, and represents an era before major metal changes transformed U.S. coinage. Sometimes the true beauty of coin collecting lies not in extreme rarity, but in the story each coin tells. And this 1973 D. penny tells a story of tradition, resilience, and everyday American life, all captured in just one small cent. If you would like, I can also create a dramatic rare value version, SEO optimized title and description, or the next date script. Just tell me which coin is next. The 1985 Lincoln 1 cent coin, written in the same powerful storytelling style. Today we are going to explore another iconic American coin, the 1985 Lincoln 1 cent. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary penny, but this small coin represents an important era in U.S. coinage history, especially because of the major metal change that had taken place just a few years earlier. Let's begin with the obverse side. On the front of the coin, you see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His portrait has appeared on the penny since 1909, making it the longest-running design in American coin history. Above his head, you'll see the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1985. Just below the date, you may see a mint mark, either D for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia. If your coin has a D, it was struck at the Denver Mint. If there is no mint mark, it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1985, both mints produced hundreds of millions, even billions of Lincoln cents, meaning this coin is common in circulated condition. Now turn the coin over to the reverse side. Here you will see the Lincoln Memorial design. At the top, it reads United States of America, and just below that, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. In the center stands a Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. If the coin is well preserved, you can even see the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, an incredible detail for such a small coin. One of the most important things about the 1985 penny is its composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the metal content of the penny due to rising copper prices. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper. After the change, they were made mostly of zinc with a thin copper plating. The 1985 Lincoln cent is part of this modern zinc core era. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams, lighter than the older copper pennies, which weighed 3.11 grams. This metal change is significant for collectors because it marks a turning point in U.S. coin production. The rising cost of materials forced the mint to adapt, and the 1985 penny represents a continuation of that cost-saving decision. Now, let's talk about value. In circulated condition, most 1985 pennies are worth face value, just 1 cent. However, coins in brilliant uncirculated condition with strong red luster can be worth several dollars, especially in high grades like MS-65 or higher. Professional grading can increase value significantly if the coin is in exceptional condition. Collectors also look for mint errors in 1985 pennies. Some examples may show double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or plating bubbles. Because the coin is copper-plated zinc, you may sometimes see bubbling or peeling on the surface. Minor plating issues are common and usually do not add much value, but dramatic mint errors can attract serious collector interest. The year 1985 was an interesting time in American history. The country was experiencing economic growth and technological advancement. Yet even in a rapidly modernizing world, the Lincoln cent remained a constant part of daily life. It passed through grocery stores, vending machines, parking meters, and children's piggy banks across the nation. Although billions are produced, finding a perfectly preserved 1985 penny today is not as easy as it sounds. Most coins from that year show scratches, discoloration, or wear from heavy circulation. That is why collectors value clean, uncirculated examples. If you have a 1985 Lincoln cent, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can damage the natural surface and reduce collector value. Store it in a proper coin holder or protective flip to preserve its original condition. In conclusion, the 1985 Lincoln 1 cent may not be rare, but it represents an important chapter in U.S. coinage history. It reflects a shift from copper to zinc, honors Abraham Lincoln, and continues the legacy of one of the most recognized coins in the world. Sometimes, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny, written in the same powerful storytelling style. Today we are going back in time to explore a true classic of American coin history, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This small copper coin may look simple, but it represents an important era in the United States and carries the traditional wheat cent design that collectors around the world admire. Let's begin with the obverse side. On the front of the coin, you see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. His profile faces to the right, just as it has since 1909, when the Lincoln cent was first introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. Above Lincoln's head, you will see the powerful national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right, the date 1956. Below the date, you may notice a mint mark. If your coin has a small d, it was struck at the Denver Mint. If there is no mint mark, it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1956, both mints produced large numbers of wheat pennies, especially the Denver Mint, which struck over 1 billion coins that year. Because of this high mintage, the 1956 D Wheat Penny is considered common in circulated condition. Now let's turn the coin over to the reverse side, the part that gives this coin its famous nickname, the Wheat Penny. Instead of the Lincoln Memorial, you will see 2 wheat stalks curving along the left and right edges of the coin. At the top, it reads United States of America, and below that, E Pluribus Unum. At the bottom center is the denomination 1 cent. The wheat design symbolizes prosperity and growth, reflecting America's agricultural strength during the early 20th century. The wheat reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958. That means the 1956 penny is one of the final few years before the design was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Because of this, the 1956 issue represents the closing chapter of the classic wheat cent era. Now, let's talk about composition. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a solid copper feel that many collectors prefer over the lighter modern zinc pennies. Its rich reddish-brown color comes from the high copper content, although many coins have toned to brown over time. In terms of value, most 1956 wheat pennies found in circulated condition are worth a few cents to maybe $1, depending on condition. Uncirculated coins with strong red luster can be worth significantly more. Coins graded MS65 or higher can command premium prices, especially if they have full original mint shine. Collectors also search for varieties and errors. Some 1956 pennies show minor doubling or die cracks. While dramatic error coins are rare, they can increase value substantially. Always examine the date and lettering carefully under magnification. The year 1956 itself was part of the post-World War II boom in America. The country was experiencing economic growth, expanding suburbs and technological progress. Through all these changes, the Lincoln Wheat Penny remained a steady symbol of everyday commerce. It passed through countless hands, used for newspapers, candy, and everyday purchases. Even though millions were produced, finding a high-grade 1956 wheat penny today without heavy wear or discoloration can be challenging. Many were heavily circulated, and truly pristine examples are more desirable among collectors. If you own a 1956 wheat penny, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning removes natural patina and can reduce collector value. Store it in a proper coin holder or protective flip to preserve its original condition. In conclusion, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny may not be an ultra-rare treasure, but it represents the final years of one of the most beloved coin designs in American history. It honors Abraham Lincoln, showcases a classic wheat reverse, and connects collectors to a powerful era of American growth and tradition. Sometimes the beauty of coin collecting lies not just in rarity, but in history. And the 1956 Wheat Penny carries that history in every detail. If you would like, I can now prepare a dramatic rare value version, SEO optimized title and description, or the next Wheat Penny date script. Just tell me which year is next. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, written in the same strong storytelling style. Today we are stepping back into one of the most historic years in American history, 1944, to explore the powerful and fascinating 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, it may look like just another old copper coin, but this penny carries the story of World War II metal shortages and one of the most talked about transitions in U.S. coinage history. Let's begin with the obverse side. On the front of the coin, you see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln. His portrait has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1909, making it the longest-running portrait in U.S. coin history. Above his head, you'll see the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left appears the word liberty, and to the right is the date, 1944. Below the date, you may notice a mint mark. If your 1944 Wheat Penny has no mint mark, it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. If it has a D, it was made at the Denver Mint. And if it carries an S, it was produced at the San Francisco Mint. All three mints produced large numbers of pennies in 1944, especially Philadelphia, which struck over 1 billion coins that year. Now let's turn the coin over to the reverse side, the famous wheat design. On the back, you'll see 2 wheat stalks curving along the left and right edges. At the top it reads, United States of America, below that, E pluribus unum, and at the bottom, 1 cent. This classic wheat reverse was used from 1909 to 1958 and symbolizes prosperity, agriculture, and American growth. What makes the 1944 penny especially interesting is its historical context. In 1943, during World War II, copper was needed for military equipment and ammunition. Because of that, pennies were made from zinc-coated steel in 1943. However, in 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to copper composition, but not regular copper. Many 1944 pennies were made using recycled brass shell casings from military ammunition. That means the metal in your 1944 Wheat Penny may have once been part of wartime materials. The 1944 Wheat Penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing approximately 3.11 grams. It has that classic solid copper feel that collectors love. Most 1944 pennies appear brown today due to oxidation over time, but well-preserved examples can still show red or reddish-brown luster. Now let's talk about value. In circulated condition, most 1944 wheat pennies are worth a few cents to a few dollars, depending on condition and mint mark. Uncirculated examples with strong red color can be worth significantly more. Coins graded MS65 red or higher can command premium prices in the collector market. But here is where things get very exciting. A very small number of 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. These rare 1944 steel cents are extremely valuable and can be worth thousands, even over $100,000, depending on condition. One simple test collectors use is a magnet test. A normal 1944 copper penny will not stick to a magnet. If a 1944 penny sticks to a magnet, it could be a rare steel error and should be professionally authenticated immediately. Because of this rare possibility, the 1944 Wheat Penny is one of the most searched and discussed dates in Lincoln cent collecting. The year 1944 itself was a major turning point in World War II. Allied forces were advancing in Europe, and America's industrial production was at full strength. Every coin from that year represents a nation focused on victory, sacrifice, and resilience. Even though millions were produced, high-grade examples without wear, scratches, or dark toning are harder to find today. Many were heavily circulated during wartime, making pristine pieces more desirable. If you own a 1944 Wheat Penny, never clean it. Cleaning removes natural patina and reduces collector value. Store it safely in a protective holder and examine it carefully for mint marks and composition. In conclusion, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a 1-cent coin. It represents wartime America, recycled military metal, and one of the most fascinating transitional periods in U.S. coin history. While most examples are common, the possibility of rare steel errors makes this coin especially exciting for collectors. Sometimes, the smallest coins carry the biggest stories, and the 1944 Wheat Penny is a perfect example of history, preserved in copper. If you would like, I can now create a dramatic, rare, and valuable version, SEO optimized title and description, or the next Wheat Penny year script. Just tell me which date is next.